And we're back with our regular scheduled Barbie programming. Welcome back to Mr. Free Hugs. I'm Chris, and in this video I will show you guys how to recreate a 1960s half up, half down hairstyle. Since this is going to be a vintage themed video, I thought it would be appropriate to use a dictionary. The word that I am looking up is vintage. Anything relating to or produced in a particular vintage of old, recognized, and enduring interest, importance, or quality, classic, outmoded, old-fashioned. And I will be using this dictionary to keep the doll in place. It's really easy to section off the hair because you can see the rows of plugs here. For some extra added detail, I'm going to take out a tiny section of hair right near her ears on each side to act as little tendrils on the sides of her head. I've placed the ponytail directly on top of her head. This will help the hair fall right over these bald spots. This is a picture of Barbara Eden. The ponytail is a little bit further back, but because we are doing this on a doll, we want the ponytail to be a little bit closer to the front so that all of this hair will cover up the bald spots. Use thread to tie up this hair. So I pulled the thread through the needle, and the thread is, as you can see, doubled up like this. So now I'm just going to tie a knot. Tie the thread very tight, right underneath the elastic. I've double knotted the thread around her ponytail. So now I'm just going to twist this thread around to make sure it's nice and tight. Now I'm going to remove this elastic, and you want to do that carefully because it can stick to the hair. When you tie the elastic around her hair, make sure it's not too tight. That way it's easier to take off. And I'm just going to cut it. All of these elastics I've saved from Barbie packaging. I still have the needle on the thread here. I'm going to turn this thread around to the back so that you don't see the knot. And then I'm going to cut the thread. Pull this ponytail tight. This is what the curler looks like. It's a cut straw, and there's a fastener that's going through it. I'm making these tendrils into basically a pin curl, and with a pin curl or a roller curl, you always want to start on the ends of the hair, which is different by today's standards. When you're curling the hair today, you basically do a spiral curl, and you can start anywhere on the strand of hair. But with these vintage hairstyles, start the curl at the ends of the hair. And I'm going to curl this all the way to the root. I want as much curl as possible. And these curls are facing towards her face on both sides. Tie this wire here around the straw. These straws I found from like juice packets called Capri Suns. For the rest of her hair, I'm going to use regular size straw. Take a random section of hair, wrap this fabric around her hair. This helps keep all of the layers and ends tucked in. Place the straw on the very end. For this hairstyle, I'm just going to roll everything under. Curl it all the way to the ponytail. Comb through the hair so that it's very neat. You don't want any strands to be kind of buckling out because that will make the curls not look as polished. Good thing about these cuts of fabric is it makes it a lot easier to roll these curlers into the hair. So again, you don't have to use fabric, you can use actual perm papers. Make sure that the bobby pin is placed near the base of the curl. I am taking pretty small sections of hair because I've curled with these regular size straws before and the curls usually come out too big. This curl, since it's like right on top of her ponytail, I'm going to curl it away from her face. Curl in a direction that you want the hair to lay, and that will help the hair go in direction that it will be in the final product. You pull the hair tight, that way the curl is properly formed on the curler. It's starting to get crowded up here, so just make sure that the bobby pins are facing in a direction that's not going to get too crowded on the head. For the bottom section, you do want the curl just to be right on the ends. I curled the roller all the way to the middle of the hair shaft just because I know with these rollers, usually the curls don't come out as tight. So when you're sectioning off the hair, you want to go straight down the head in vertical sections. I'm going to make these sections very small because her hair is really thick. With some of the setting patterns that I've seen for this hairstyle, I've only seen like 3 sections of hair with this back area. And they only used 3 rollers. I don't know if that's how they actually did it back then or if that's just the picture. With these curls in the back, I'm going to hold the hair very close to her body at a 0 degree. So this is about ½ inch to 2 centimeters. That will help fit the straws on the entire head without getting too crowded. Ran out of bobby pins, so I'm just going to use my pin curl clips. And you can see I'm getting out of breath because this has actually taken about an hour to do. I forgot how long this takes. You don't usually see hairstyles like this nowadays because it does take a long time to do. So here's her completed setting pattern. And it's not perfect, but you do want to try to get as perfect as possible because with these 1960s hairstyle, the hairstyles are very polished and clean looking. And the only way to do that is by making sure the setting pattern is clean and polished looking. There are some strands sticking out, and that's because of the layered hair. So that was one of the other reasons why I wanted to roll this curler all the way to the middle of the hair shaft instead of just on the ends. I'm not really good with different hair types, so I don't know what type of hair she has, but I do know I don't want to make the water boiling hot. It just needs to be very hot. It took over 24 hours to dry her hair completely. I left these curlers in her hair for about 5 days. The longer that you leave these curlers in her hair, the better. Take out the bobby pins and clips carefully so that they don't snag her hair. And especially with these wire fasteners, a lot of the times her hair can get caught in the wire. I'm going to save these straws for later. So this back section has come out a little bit more curly than I expected. The setting pattern was correct with using large sections and large rollers. This is still a very beautiful look. It's nice and curly, and it still has a vintage look to it. It looks more now like a sleek 1940s page boy. So I'm just smoothing out this section of the hair so that it lays a little bit more straight, like the hairstyle. This one you want to take out slowly because the hair can get caught in the wire fastener. Just twisting it around my finger here so that it lays like a Victorian curl or a sausage curl. I'm trying to think of the name of it. You want it to lay like a ringlet curl. Almost turned out perfect. The ends are a little bit messed up, but it's okay. I don't really care. If you want, you can cut off this end here, but I want to keep her original haircut in case I want to change her hairstyle. So Barbara Eden had little tendrils on the sides of her hair here, but of course hers were like shorter. So if you wanted, you could just cut off these tendrils here to make them closer to the hairstyle. Here is the finished product. I'm filming this the next day. I wasn't really happy with how her hair turned out, so I was styling and brushing out her hair the previous day that I filmed the earlier portion. So for the ponytail section, I just released the straws and let the curls fall down and styled it with my fingers. And same with these tendrils on the sides of her head. I just styled it with my fingers. But for the rest of her hair, I combed it through. You can see the back section still looks the same as the other clip that you saw earlier. And you guys can be a judge and tell me if this hairstyle turned out like the picture or not. Here's another style where the ends of her hair are curled up. And you can see the top section is pulled all the way back. And this crown section is nice and full. They only have 2 rows of curlers here in her hair. And this bottom section has 2 little pin curls. And all of this is rolled under. And this vertical section right here on the top of her head is rolled back. And then these 2 on the sides are rolled downwards. The rollers are on the very ends of her hair, and there's only 3 rollers. Here's another setting pattern which has the same amount of rollers. The bobby pins left behind some kind of residue in the hair. Some pieces look a little bit brown and discolored because of the black paint on the bobby pins. Maybe something else like just regular pin curl clips, or something that doesn't have like paint coated onto the hairpin. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below and I'll get back to you. I love talking about dolls. With the coronavirus spreading rampant worldwide, I hope you guys really take care, and I'll see you in my next video.